Double bind.
Double bind.
Double bind.
Double bind.
Double bind.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another episode of Double Bind. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I am your host, Springle, and I've got my voice in-house. We got Bugs, our co-host, our guest co-host, Sneed, and also our guest co-host, Twaz, back in-house to talk about some current events. And, of course, these things are things that are personal to us within the community. Gentlemen, what's up? Welcome back.
Hey. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hey, Neil. We're back. It's great to be back.
All excited and shit.
I know. I haven't spoke to you guys in so long, but I feel like I never left. So here we are.
So, you know what? I'm going to just go straight to Sneed. Sneed and I was talking about this, and Sneed wanted to address an issue that just came up in the media recently.
Lord, just strike me dead now. Okay, so everybody knows, well, I don't know if everyone knows, but Jaguar Wright, a neo-soul artist from Philly, has been just letting everything hang out in the air dry. Everything comes out in the wash, and she is going all in on a lot of artists in the industry, popular artists, fan favorites. One in particular was Mary J. Blige, claiming that she is a lesbian and that her marriage was set up. And it's just like she needs to come out of the closet, essentially.
Why was she saying this? Mary, of all people, MJ?
You know, I don't know. And I don't think anybody will ever fully understand. I just kind of talked it up as that grief and pain expresses itself in a variety of ways. Hers, obviously, is calling out other people's personal business. But how do we feel about that? I guess it's a two-part question. Like, you know, is it cool to out somebody in this manner? And how do we feel if Mary J. Blige, a person that all of us probably have grown up with, was actually a lesbian? Do we view her differently? Does that change our perspective on Mary J. Blige?
If Mary J. Blige is in fact, I'll just entertain this just for entertaining purposes. But if Mary J. Blige is in fact a lesbian, that's her business. And I still love her. If anything, I would love her even more. However, Homegirl is wrong for outing her and selling her business like that. Like, what business is it of hers to share with others the intimate details of Mary J. Blige's life? Why is that being told to us? And how old is this woman? She's grown, no?
Yeah, she's grown.
And Jaguar Wright, she's in her 40s. She's like 41 or something.
So
like that.
she's probably, or like you said, grieving is coming from a place of bitter resentment, baby. That's got to be coming from a cold-hearted place.
I mean, I know that she dabbles, you know, I don't know if she has identified herself as bisexual or a full-on lesbian. I know that she has had relationships with females, but I don't know. Like, at first, I thought that it had something to do with the fact that she was being mistreated and mishandled in the industry and how people were jacking her style. And I can't remember the member of the Roots had passed. I thought that it was all stemming from that. But now and that was just the neo-soul community. But now it's kind of like branching out and expanding. So it's just like, now I don't really understand. Like, what is this about? And why? Why that of all things? That is extremely personal. Like, you know, you could affect someone's career and brand, essentially, at this point, just by leaking that stuff out to the press. Like, why? What is your motivation? I mean, does anybody have any thoughts? If anyone has ever been pushed or even given thought to out somebody like that? Like, how would you feel if that were to happen to you and you had this career or you had this secret?
You know, I ain't no telling. I mean, in this Hollywood fan game, Mary J. Blige could be behind this whole thing. You know what I mean? Mary J. Blige, people was like, yeah, we need to get her back in the book, you know, get people to chatter about, you know, her girl trending, buzzing again. She has a new show coming out. This could be an all-up PR setup. You know what I mean, y'all? So let's not get too, you know, up in arms and woe was Mary.
She is on that new Power show.
Well, gossip is good. As we know, gossip is good for business. You know what I mean? Jaguar Wright probably Mary's a big name, but like you said, Mary's in a Power show. I mean, you don't know how many followers and likes Jaguar Wright getting right now. And she's trending right now. We back talking about Jaguar Wright. You don't even got to come out with a song now. You don't even got to come out with a song nowadays. Drop some gossip that people that interested to know it. People will talk about you like you got a number one song. So now I'm thinking about Jaguar. They play some Jaguar Wright songs. She get more spins. It's good. Like I said, gossip is good for business.
But Twaz, Jaguar has been like literally airing everybody's dirty laundry in the past 2 months. You would have made a phenomenal publicist, but I think it's a little fucked up for Jaguar Wright to be coming out with this kind of information because one, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help Mary.
It does help her because it helps both of them because we talk about both of them.
In a long-term sense, like, yeah, you might get people talking, but again, this is modern times. Like within a week, we're on to the next Breonna Taylor. I think I'm with Sneed. I think she is suffering from maybe bitterness and resentment towards other people because she went in on my girl Moni Love, whom I love. I was disappointed to find out through Jaguar that Moni Love allegedly may be a bird. I think it's just she's seen people become more successful than she is in some ways, and maybe she's lashing out. I don't see the point. Like Mary, for me, is unproblematic. Mary keeps to herself, minds her fucking business, and that's that. And to me, that's the best kind of artist ever. Versus Jaguar, who's out here talking about everybody else.
Mary probably didn't hire her. Maybe Mary J. Blige didn't hire her. Maybe, you know what I mean? Mary Blige go on tour. Mary J. Blige wait for her call. Telling her Mary J. Blige, Jaguar.
How? They're not even in the same lane. There's like two different artists.
Right.
She's not in the same league.
Maybe that's possible. That's totally possible.
And even if we were to put Jaguar in a lane with somebody else, honestly, she only had 1.5 hits. I was a huge fan of her voice. The albums were weak. I mean, Sneed, this is our market, in terms of music, because you know how we feel.
Hey. They wasn't weak.
The albums were weak. Yo, I love Jag's voice, but her albums were weak. The best body of work, unfortunately, for me, was the live album set that she did with Jay-Z. That was it. Mm-hmm. But on her own, Jaguar Wright, like to me, if she had to go in a versus battle, and it's funny because Sneed and I talked about maybe doing an episode.
Now I get it. Okay, so Jaguar Wright is challenging Mary J. Blige to a versus battle.
He doesn't have the catalog, so I would put her with a oh my God! Because I can't really even think of artists.
She don't got the catalog.
Truth hurts. She needs to do a versus. Truth hurts.
Wait, guys. First of all, to do a versus battle, you need a catalog.
You need a catalog, and so yeah, nobody's signing in to watch something for 5 minutes.
I mean, they can expand it. They can do some live performances or something, and some.
And I noticed, funny enough, when her name was trending a couple of weeks ago when she spoke on Jill Scott and Questlove using his real name, and Malik B, who died. That's the person who died from the Roots, Malik B. I kind of revisited her, which is the same thing that Twaz is saying. It kind of made me more interested. And then I'm watching some of her performances in the recent years, where she performs at a lot of like jazz festivals, which her voice is perfect for. I noticed she had to keep looking at her notes for lyrics and shit. I'm like, how are you throughout her whole set? Like, how are you doing a whole set? You don't even know the songs that you're singing. She's not in the same lane with Mary.
To Twaz's point, building publicity, getting, clicks, being talked about right now. She is on this platform. Why is it happening? It's happening because she wants a versus battle with Mary.
Right. But you gotta know the song. You gotta know the song. You gotta have a catalog.
Faith Evans.
Well, nah, not even Faith.
Faith doesn't have a catalog.
Versus to me does not necessarily mean it has to be hits that everyone loves. To me, if you have enough of the catalog,
music nobody cares about after that first album, though.
But people who are fans will know. So what I'm saying is, like, Faith may not have the numbers that Mary has had, but she's released music. I think Faith would be a good, and to be honest, she was almost Mary 2.0 when she came out.
Right.
She was singing backup. Like she wrote.
She was only singing backup and writing on My Life. Was she writing on what's the 411?
Great question. I
think My Life is when Faith's influence was apparent.
But people got to know the hits though. That's what
I don't even know one Jaguar Wright song. Well, and remember, Faith was created as to be a carbon copy of Mary. Can we name 7, 8 Faith Evans songs?
You can't do them. You can't do verses with them. No, you can't do it. You can't do verses with Mary and Faith because half the Mary songs that you love so much are really Faith songs that got put out with Mary. You know what I mean? So you can't really. That wouldn't be fair because Faith is on half those records anyway.
Wait, what do you mean? How would they be Faith songs?
And my life, it sounds like that's considered, to me, that's Mary's best album, but it's also, to me, it's Faith's album. You know what I mean? Because I hear her fingerprints are so much over that album. I'm like Faith could have put this out.
Yeah, but that means if she's singing backup, that means it's not her song.
Look at the liner notes. Look at the liner notes. Faith is all over My Life album. Look at the liner notes.
If we had to put Faith in a versus battle, who would we put Faith with?
I was going to say Tweet.
I'll take that. That. Maya.
Who?
All right. Joe.
Joe versus Glenn Lewis. Or Joe versus Genuine or something. I don't know.
I would say Usher, but Usher could also be versus Chris Brown. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Usher versus Chris. You can't do Joe versus Usher. Like, how many people? Joe.
Why not?
Usher's catalog is ginormous compared to Joe.
Chris Brown's catalog is ginormous too. Now, it's either going to be JT or Chris Brown. That's it.
No, I don't think you can do Usher. Usher's catalog starts in 94. And Chris Brown's catalog starts in 2004.
Yeah, when you speak of competition or people who have are equals in a sense, it would be JT and Chris Brown. Easy.
Justin Timberlake versus Usher. That would be a good versus battle.
I don't think people remember how far back Usher went out. I mean, Usher and it came out just after Joe.
Right. Usher.
Yeah, they only think about Usher when My Way hit.
Dude, you can't compare Usher to Joe, bro. You can't compare Usher to Joe.
Yeah, but Joe ended when? 2003?
You know what? Joe, you got fans out here.
That man is still singing though. The last thing that I know that he has done is when he made the cover of Hello.
I mean, he can still keep singing, but nobody knows the songs. Are y'all buying his music?
Nobody knows the songs.
Listen, I know them songs. And he writes too. So he writes as well. He writes. I mean, Joe and Tank would be a good versus. Joe and Tank.
Nice. Yes. Joe and Tank. Even though he came out before Tank. So yeah.
There'll be 2 viewers on Instagram Live, and it'll be y'all too. What about not Ashanti, Keisha Cole?
No.
Keisha Cole doesn't really have.
She's supposed to be the new Mary J. Blige. That's what they.
Yeah, she had a good 5-year run.
That was they positioned her as.
3.0.
No,
Faith was 2.
No. Faith is Mary J. Blige 1.5 because they're so much of the same DNA, you know.
Dave Hollister.
Oh, Dave Hollister, Jaheim. Oh, Dave Hollister, Music Soul Child.
Oh, Joe in music.
Nah.
Jaheim and Hollister.
Well, what about Carl Thomas?
Oh, Glenn Lewis.
Carl Thomas. Oh, I don't know him.
He knows who he is. He's just,
you know Carl Thomas, Need. He does.
He
Emotional
knows.
remix featuring Faith Evans. Come on.
But no, yeah, Glenn Lewis and Carl Thomas, because they had. Some people may not know, but yeah, Glenn Lewis actually had some other albums besides what.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a big one out there. Jay-Z.
Nas.
Jay-Z.
They're about the same period, and they have. Well, Jay-Z has a little bit more hits than Nas, though. But
I think that
it's not even so much about hits. It's not even about hits though, because Jay-Z is like his musical evolution.
That battle happened already.
His musical evolution is just like
they had Ether.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah, they did.
They had a real battle, Jay-Z and Nas. What are you talking about? That was a real. They already had
they did. They actually had a real verse.
Like they had a little battle. So that happened.
And Jay-Z washed that behind.
Some people say, right? It's arguably.
Some people say, not everyone.
Nah,
so-
Jay-Z
Okay, what
watched
about?
that.
All right, here's another big.
So
here's another big. One.
speaking of,
Here's another.
Go ahead,
Here's another
Bucks.
big one for you guys. Mariah Carey.
No fucking body. No fucking body.
Celine Dion.
Woo! Even though I love Celine,
Even
I
though
love Celine. I love Celine. but no.
They do two completely different types of music. That's the only person that has that kind of sales and extensive hits, like Celine. Yeah, Celine, man. Yeah, I can think of anybody else. Mariah's in a
league of her own.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston Spirit.
You know what? I actually would like to have seen that. I would like to have seen if God, rest her soul. I would like if Whitney were alive today. That would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, and she would have been singing trap music featuring Quavo. Anyway, so let's move on to our last topic for the day. So this is interesting. You guys may not know of this. So I came upon an article where there's a specific charter flight that flies NFL players to to games and to certain cities, and they're within their contract or their request, they wanted specifically young white female, preferably blonde and blue-eyed, for flight attendants. So what I've learned, I didn't know this. For example, if you're a woman that works for United Airlines, you can apply to fly their charter flights. It doesn't mean you're going to be approved automatically. So United Airlines supposedly is being sued by a few flight attendants because the NFL, Major League Baseball, as well as the National Collegiate Athletics Association have all requested a young white female, predominantly blonde and blue-eyed attendants. So in other words, the black ones, the Asians, the Hispanic ones are not allowed unless maybe they look
Close to whiteness.
close to what they're requesting, and if they're past a certain age. I get it because, men are men, men are visual, men always kind of gravitate to younger, but to me, that's just a flight. Like I don't need you to be blonde, female, blue-eyed, to attend to me. To me, it should be anybody.
It sounds like you're offering more than just flight attendant services.
No comment. So none of y'all got nothing to say, huh?
I'm just
Bucks,
saying.
you're awfully quiet.
I'm just saying.
Because it's just one of those things again, proximity to whiteness. I'm tired. Measuring us up to proximity to whiteness, and it's just exhausting. And this topic the subject matter is probably never going to go away. But I think that the girls in the lawsuit, they deserve to be rewarded. They deserve to win. And again, we're just talking about another example of another system that's designed to oppress.
Or will they win? Or will they just be offered another settlement to be quiet?
Bingo.
No, I mean, that's not going to change. I'm sure those contracts, those sport league contracts are very lucrative for the airlines. I doubt they'll get rid of that. They'll probably just settle with these women and have them go off on vacation to use their flight privileges and the 20, 30,000 each they got.
Or suggest like Southwest Airlines or Spirit. Spirit might work for you. Why don't you go there? They'll hire you over there.
I'm just going to throw the question back in there. Would you guys have any specific preference? Okay, forget if it's just blonde hair, blue-eyed, female, white. If you could request a specific type of staff to attend to you on your airline or on your private jet, or well, not private jet, but on these smaller charter flights, would you guys go forward with putting in those kind of requests, or would you just not? Would that not matter?
White girl, definitely, for sure. My flight students, for sure. One private jet, I want to have blue eyes and blonde hair. That's a damn sure. All my service, my driver, I want him to have blue eyes and blonde hair. Right? Exactly. That's what I want. Just like if y'all know, you've seen
Empire.
Beyonce's Black is King.
Oh yeah.
On that, but if you watch it, her servants, all the servants in it are blonde hair, blue eyes, all the servants, But I will say something. My first time going to Germany, I was, when I got to the airport, I had a driver waiting for me, and something about having that tall blonde hair, blue, what's it, the Anglo-Saxon or whatever.
Anglo-Saxon. Well, the Anglo-Saxons are not really blonde hair, blue-eyed like that. What you're thinking, maybe you're thinking more like the Scandinavian, the Nordic.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is Hitler. Listen, let me tell you, Hitler Youth was driving my car in Germany. Okay, it felt amazing. I had Hitler Youth. Okay, it felt amazing. I recommend everybody.
Sneed.
Well, I'm the only thing that I require. It doesn't have to necessarily be a look or a type. Just don't smile at me all the time, and don't talk to me in that airy, annoying voice. Like, I just don't like that. It's like, why do you guys all have the same voice? Like, it's annoying. Like, I don't care about anything else. I don't care how you look. Just don't smile at me.
Wait. Have you seen the Separate Wives movie?
I have all versions of that movie. But it's like, I don't like that. Like, I just don't. What are you smiling about? What are you so goddamn happy for? What's going on? Is there like just some mist coming through the vents with you people? What the hell?
Dude, it is okay to be happy.
I'm just saying. No, I am a fan of customer service, but I do believe that, like, for whatever reason, like, they just seem to overdo it. Like Chick-fil-A. Like, Chick-fil-A annoys me too. Like, you guys are overly doing, okay? Like, I get it. Thank you. You don't have to thank me 20 times. I get it.
So Sneed, you're not a fan of customer service?
But just to say this too, Books, I was in customer service and I received rave reviews on my customer service. I was the front end manager, and I never smiled. I listened. I resolved the problem as quickly as I could, and I made the customer happy. That's customer service. Showing me all your pearly whites. What do you like? What's going on? Please.
But I am with Nate on that though. I much prefer efficiency to. You don't necessarily need to be like fake warm, but if you're efficient, I'll actually appreciate it more versus if you're fake warm and still messing up my order or not getting me what I need on time. So,
right, and to diffuse the situation calmly.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. Like I would take the customer service skills, the ability to be able to measure my temperament. If it's a long flight and you see me with my headphones on, leave me alone. Pick up on those social cues.
Read the room. Well, read the cabin. That is so true. That is absolutely so true. But
That's all I would like.
well, hopefully these women get their money. I get it. You want something that's pretty in front of you, but still, these women need to work, and I think they should allow them to be who they are and just allow them to work accordingly and not necessarily limit them to a specific type. But again, these are young folks with money and a lot of testosterone.
Like with everything that's happening in the world today, like the Me Too, like in the whole like diversity movement, and I would just be really surprised that that's an actual thing. Like what?
And it's the service industry. Service industry jobs definitely, are selling a look and selling certain, people certain attributes and stature to promote, their products, to wear their brand, you know what I mean? So we can't really be that surprised by,
Very true.
client-facing business enterprises, wanting people to adhere to certain physical characteristics.
I don't care how you look. Can you do your job? Because you can look like a model and have all those wonderful attributes and suck at your job. Like I don't care about that. I don't care about that.
Well, there's a lot of money involved. So when you have money, your ego, the male ego and money, combine those two, and you have all the world's problems.
It's marketing, and it's marketing and propaganda. So if you want to look, if you want to work for the Standard Hotel, you got to look a certain kind of way. Everybody knows that. You can't just look no kind of way and get a job working at the Standard, even as a busboy, doorboy. You better look like a model.
Where I worked as a doorman, a couple celebrities lived in it. I'm not going to name names. It didn't really hit me until I started working. You get the job, you work, and you're not thinking about anything. But then one day it hit me. I was like, wait a minute. They really make sure that all the guys here are good looking. Like they make sure specifically we fit a certain visual aesthetic. And I wasn't offended or anything by it. I am partially complimented by the fact that they took me on and made me part of that. It does speak on certain imagery when it comes to certain brands. And so, again, we can't really be too mad at these men requesting a certain look and having the airlines concede. Why not give them what they want? So, when you have money, you get to do whatever the hell you want. Yeah, you might get sued, but yeah, you could just pay them some settlement. They shut down and things can go back to normal quietly. Isn't that what normally happens in a lot of cases? The money takes care of everything. Everything shuts down and we go back to quote unquote normal.
Yeah,
true.
Pretty much.
Can we throw in Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez?
Okay, so
For those who don't know the story, there was allegedly an incident in LA where Megan was shot by Tory in her feet. Cops came, no one was arrested. Megan did not press charges. A couple weeks later, Megan gets on Instagram Live and she shares the story. So she gives her side of the story and the facts of what she went through and what actually took place. And she says that Tory did shoot her in the feet. She survived. I think her mother passed away and maybe her grandmother like maybe 2 or 3 years before that. So, of course, the young lady is traumatized by that. And then this experience, almost losing her life. And Tory decides to break his silence. And he announces on Twitter after 6 months that he is going to speak on what happened at a particular time. Say it was 9 o'clock. I think it was midnight. And at midnight, he drops an album. So my reaction is that this man allegedly, and I use that word loosely, committed this crime against this woman. And instead of being apologetic, demonstrating some form of remorse, he decides to profit off the situation. And this is on the same day, or maybe the day after, we get the Breonna Taylor verdict. So here you have a man, rapping about misogynistic lyrics. He, on the album, he's throwing some other singers under the bus too. I think JoJo, because when it all started, she took him off of her album. Kalani is another newer, younger artist, and he was on her album. She took him off when, this shit hit the fan. So he's attacking all of these females on his new album. From what I've read, I haven't listened to it. I'm not going to buy into that shit. So to me, it's just like, you have demonstrated zero accountability. You want to profit. You want the streaming. You want the numbers, and you want money. That's ultimately all you care about. You don't care about apologizing to this woman. You don't care about sharing your side of the story as to exactly what took place. You just want the clicks.
How do we know? I'm not, again, this is just a question from my own mindset. How do we know that whole thing wasn't just a really well played out PR stunt?
Well, there's actually, I can see where you're coming from by saying that, but there's actually video footage of them being pulled over by the police, Megan limping or hopping out of the vehicle.
I saw that. Like I said, it's a well played out.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't that the same thing that came out earlier with Jaguar and Mary J. Blige?
Yeah, and plus he's no. He's a Canadian citizen, so like he's playing with his immigration status. So I doubt you playing with guns and shooting bitches as part of a PR stunt. Some shit went left, clearly. Some shit went left, and they're trying to PR it to their all of their benefit. But
but people come to America all the time and disobey the law. Just because he's Canadian doesn't mean he's going to adhere to the laws of the land.
I understand that, but he's not going to play with his status because America's money. So he's not going to play with his money-making status as a PR stunt. That money he makes here, that's a stupid PR stunt.
Yeah, because the amount of money he makes here is not, He can't get that in Canada.
Yeah, but he could be living in Switzerland and still making the money.
This is the biggest market for hip hop. This is the biggest market for hip hop.
Right. This is right. Come on, guys. Come on. We know America's the place. This is where you make the money.
No. I'm saying it is the biggest market, but we're using the market is being used on social media. Like there's no touring
right now, bro. Right. I mean, right now.
So it doesn't matter where he is, and it's happening right now. So it doesn't matter where he is right now. He's still making the money, whether he's in the U.S. or not.
Over time, I've just come to learn that, PR stunts are real. And I think that a lot of times it's hard to tell what the situation is. From my spirit tells me it may have been a PR stunt went too far or went wrong versus an actual legitimate situation. But I could be wrong. Who knows? I could be wrong.
But Bugs, isn't he in trouble with something else? Someone else is suing him, isn't he? For beating up somebody in a nightclub? Am I wrong?
I don't know. Was there an altercation? No, it wasn't him and Drake.
No, I don't. Wasn't it him? I don't think it was him. I think it was one of his fellow colleague rapper, singer.
Maybe he's problematic.
Colleagues, yeah. So, but
I don't think it was a PR. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't think it was.
It's hard to tell these days. It's hard to tell these days.
Well, at this point, it's all a PR stunt right now. Now it's a PR stunt because they're trying to spin it and make it a stunt and make it into something else. You know what I mean?
Now that's a PR stunt.
AKA August Alsina and his
entire
now it's a PR stunt.
Red Table Talk and him getting up there, and then his album dropped minutes after it aired. That was a stunt.
Oh my God. Yeah, but I'm loving the fact that we're starting, our eyes are being lifted. The veil is being lifted off of our eyes in terms of celebrities and celebrity culture these days. Yeah, because part of me is just kind of over it.
Who cares? Who cares about your problems?
Well, good luck to Megan. Good luck to Megan.
No, in a way, but in a way with COVID, it makes us all kind of care for a second because it takes our mind off of, the realities that are. Other realities that are being presented in front of us, right? It's like, oh my God, who shot who in the foot? Oh my God, I was like, I'm upset about that. I was like, oof, I get to think about something else.
I don't care about that. Yeah, I don't care about that. You can shoot 10 people in the foot. I wouldn't give a damn.
But gentlemen, thank you so much for giving a damn on this week's episode, or not giving a damn. As you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Welcome to Double Bind. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. My name is Springle, and I want to thank my co-host Boogs, guest co-host Sneed, guest co-host Twaz for returning back to the fold. Tune in next week. Like, subscribe, and follow on various social media platforms. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye-bye.